When Moshe first encounters Hashem at the burning bush, we're told, Vayaster Moshe as panav, he hid his face because he was afraid to look. He was afraid to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu's glory. And for that, the Gemara says he was actually praised. He was rewarded for it. The Pasuk tells us later, Utumunas Hashem Yabit, that Moshe has the ability to perceive God in ways that no one else can. Because of that humility that Moshe displayed, his unwillingness to see God, he was rewarded. Yet it's also interesting to note that later on, we're told that Moshe said, Hareini nas kvodecha, Hashem, show me your glory. I want to see your face. And what does God respond? You can only see my back, but you can't see my face. The Medrash says, or the Gemara says, that God said to Moshe, when I wanted you to see me, you didn't want to look. And now that you're ready to look at me, I'm not ready to show you. Seems to be contradictory. On the one hand, Moshe is praised for not wanting to see God's face, and then he's criticized at the same time. Says Moshe Feinstein, it's because there's a difference between humility and being self-effacing. On the one hand, Moshe was rewarded because he was humble. He said, I don't deserve to see God's face. I don't deserve all this kavod and all this honor. And that's a good thing, to have that quality, that midah of anivos. But at the same time, if humility gives way to self-effacement, and someone who's ready to lead, who's ready to stand in the breach, says, I can't do this. This is not for me. That no longer is humility. That's someone who has given up his duty, his responsibility, and relegated it to somebody else. Humility is not a weakness. Humility doesn't say, I'm too humble, and therefore I can't. Rather, humility is a strength. It says, I don't deserve it, but I'm ready to do it anyways. And that is the challenge for any leader. A leader has to be ready. Yes, they have to come in with a mindset of humility, recognizing the great challenge in front of them and the great responsibility that they have, knowing that they don't know, understanding that they don't know everything. But to sink into some form of despair, to say that I am incapable, it's not for me, that's not what humility is all about. May we all have the strength to use our humility to push ourselves forward, to change the world, to make a difference in the lives of others. And by doing so, we will receive the same schar of Moshe, Utmunas Hashem Yabit, without having the criticism of, when you were there, when you were ready, why didn't you take it? Instead, we'll grab it by the horns and do what Hashem wants us to do. Have a wonderful Shabbos.